lead single off of Progressive Regression mixtape. I'm your host, Aaron Trilling. Again, welcome to the Chelladurai Inc show. We are having a wonderful show this evening. Time now is 9:01. Again, thanks for joining us so much. What is today? February 18th. February 18th. It is leap year this year, folks. How about that? Every 4 years, we do have the 29th day of February. Actually, I know a very good friend of mine who was born on February 29th. And honestly, I got to say, I never know when they celebrate their birthday. Do they celebrate their birthday on the 28th? Or do they celebrate their birthday on the 1st of March? I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to ask that. Shout out to my man, Hobbies Hernandez, by the way. I think you're going to be like, I'm 28. He's going to be 34, I'm going to say. I think he's going to be 34. Don't quote me, though, folks. Wonderful show. We do have a special guest for our entrepreneurial spotlight, but of course, at this time, every time, what do? We do our sports update. And how that's looking, pitchers and catchers actually reported, I believe yesterday, if not this morning. For those of you not aware, in baseball, the pitchers and catchers of baseball teams report to practice first. They get their signaling down, their pitching down. It's very important for pitchers and catchers to develop a chemistry, and because pitching is very much a large part of baseball, and it's important that they get together before the infield and the outfield gets together, because there's more of a relationship at stake and there's more of a technique involved with the pitching and the catching. Again, that was either today or yesterday, but that's official, and just in a week or two, I guess spring training will happen. Spring training generally will take place in Peoria out west for West Coast teams and in Tampa Bay, Florida for East Coast teams. So we're right there, folks. We're right there. I don't know if we have some baseball fans out there in our audience, but I'm a big baseball fan, and that's I cannot wait for. In other news, we just had 3 games tonight in the NBA. We had the Washington Wizards beat up on the Utah Jazz 103-89 in Washington. Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving and company took on the Chicago Bulls in Cleveland and was able to wrap that up at a score of 106-95. And if you guys want to tune in right now, third quarter on TNT, we have the LA Clippers at home at the Staples Center taking on the San Antonio Spurs. It looks like it's got to be an upset, because I show here 54-38 in favor of the Los Angeles Clippers. And San Antonio, as we all know, is a basketball powerhouse in the National Basketball Association, so that looks good if you bet on that game. Other than that, what's going on? Jared Allen, defensive end for, I don't even know who now, I'm drawing a blank, was on the Minnesota Vikings forever, but he's announcing his NFL retirement, kind of a big deal. Not too much happening in football, it looks like right here. Huge upset in college basketball, by the way. Today, Maryland was upset by Minnesota. Maryland is ranked sixth in the nation right now, and Maryland beat them at a score of, I believe, 68-63. So if you guys had money on Maryland, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much money you won. It had been a crazy bet, but at the same time, crazy bets are the best bets. So that was good. We're located out here in San Diego. Like I said, lovely San Diego, California is where we broadcast. And we have, being that college March Madness was a hop, skip, and a jump from us, we have the San Diego State Aztecs taking on San Jose State on Sunday. We look pretty good. I'm pretty confident that we'll definitely get into the tournament. It's all about the seeding, though. We need to get a good seed. The higher the seed, obviously, the better. But the conference tournament will be coming up Wednesday, March 9th. It'll be taking place at the Thomas and Mack Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. A good buddy of mine and myself try and go every year. Again, that's Wednesday, March 9th, and that's going to last until Saturday, March 12th, I believe. That's March 12th. It's a conference tournament. For those of you guys unfamiliar with college basketball, the conference tournament is the prequel to the NCAA March Madness big tournament at the end of the year. And for all the teams that really have not done so well in the regular season, this is their last chance to face their conference rivals, and it gives them one more chance to somehow get a higher bid and a better chance actually into the NCAA tournament, which is the big tournament at the end of the year, which will take place the third week of March. So it's getting down to the wire here, folks. College basketball is fully underway. And I got to tell you, I love it because the national championship, I think, is the first week of April, April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, something like that. And then right after that, bam, baseball season starts. So the sporting gods are just wonderful because, it's just one into another. It's like it's the best of both worlds. Bittersweet. College basketball ends, darn, but baseball right here. And big Padres fan as well out here. We're big San Diego fans, Jordan and I. Speaking of Jordan, I just want to introduce him right now. Jordan, you are live, sir. Time is 9:06. Just doing a little sport update. How you doing over there, Pravin?
Oh, yeah. No worries. Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Okay. Wonderful. We're just giving a little sports update, talking about our good show that we have going on right now. Anyway, that's enough with sports. I don't know what's going on with hockey. I don't know what's going on with golf. Love both sports, but I just don't have time to broadcast that. Look that up on your own time, folks. I want to touch on something tonight, guys. I'm reading a wonderful book. As you know, Jordan and I are big readers. And, we're both young, and Jordan and I were both kind of actually talking about, there's so much good information, so much knowledge out there right now that I don't know about that I'm learning every day with books. And I was telling Jordan, I don't have time for fiction. If I was 85 years old in a nursing home, fine. And I want to stimulate my mind. Sure, I'd read, Dungeons and Dragons and Wizardry and Harry Potter books. But there's so much pertinent information, especially people like me, young business professionals like myself and Jordan, that is just the information in these books that we're getting is just gold. And right now, I'm reading a little book called The Science of Getting Rich. It's by Wallace D. Wattles. Interesting name, great name. And Mr. Wattles has a little book. It's about 100 pages only. Again, folks, it's called The Science of Getting Rich. And it's not a get-rich-quick scheme by any means, but it's you could say it's almost like a philosophical way of really, becoming rich. And Mr. Wattles is very black and white with his writing, and he references how, wherever you're born, wherever you grew up, whatever socioeconomic condition you grew up in, whether you were born rich, born wealthy, born dirt poor, he's saying it really doesn't matter. And it took me a hard time for me to grasp that idea around my head because I thought there was some inevitable factors that would make it matter. But I'm not going to give away the book, but very interesting read. Again, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Do check it out. I got the paperback form. It's white. It's got a huge $ sign on it. You can't miss it. Do check it out. It's gold. George, do you have anything to add at all? I know I just wanted to just touch on the literary piece just real quick, but if not, no worries. I'd like to open it up to you at all.
Yeah, no, that is a really good book. And, I just wanted to throw in, just my kind of insight or, kind of the thoughts that have been sitting on my mind over the past week. And it kind of comes back to, I think it's crazy because I don't think we've ever talked about this specific individual, even though me and you just did, Aaron, just not too long ago. But the concept of, everything that we're doing being a marathon, which we really, embody this kind of mental idea and theme from Nipsey Hussle, Los Angeles musician, entrepreneur, artist. The marathon is his first mixtape. The marathon continues, and just how everything that we're doing right now, we're just approaching it with a long-term vision as opposed to just a sprint. You need to kind of move like you're sprinting, but at the same time have that endurance because it really is a marathon, and it's about that long-term vision. So, I just wanted to, share that that's the thought that's just been sitting on my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is a marathon. It's never it's not a sprint. And it's really, kind of like what Jordan and I touched on a couple of weeks ago, just going back to success, folks. It's not a destination. It's not a finish line. It's more of a relationship. We had a guest on a few weeks ago, ex-pro wrestler Shane K. Roberts, Shane Roberts. Find him on Instagram at Shane K Roberts. But had done some modeling and had done some acting work, but now is in the health and fitness. And he was a wonderful guest, and he was telling us about that success was really a relationship and not so much a destination or a finishing point. You got to be good to it. It's a relationship. You got to be good. If you're good to her, she'll be good to you. If you're not so good to her, she's not going to be good to you. But yeah, Jordan, I'm very glad that you brought that up. I do want to just go ahead and jump right into the meat and potatoes of our show, folks. Our entrepreneurial spotlight for tonight. We have a Mr. Collin Schmidt from Credit Funding Solutions Agency, and I'll let him kind of talk a little bit more about it. He specializes in credit repair as well as both personal and business funding. And although maybe not a full entrepreneur himself, he can actually cater to many of the people out here that are entrepreneurs. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce Collin. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. You are live on the air, sir.
Jordan, I'm here. I appreciate you reaching out. Pleasure to be on the show, and everybody else on the show. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Thanks for coming out, Collin. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
Collin, we were just kind of wondering if you could just kind of shed some light on your personal background. Kind of tell your life story, but without you telling your life story. Kind of your professional background, your interests, how'd you get to where you're at now, and what you're really doing with the CFS agency.
Absolutely. I won't do once upon a time or any of that stuff, but the short and the gist of it, I think everybody has that entrepreneur spirit within them. So I really appreciate what you guys do, reaching out, connecting with people, and getting these messages out because I need to get out. But the long and the short of it is in college, I've always kind of, been entrepreneur. I'm currently 27 years old, and, we always dabble in things. We kind of see what works, what doesn't work. Had my, fun time starting on eBay, learning some stuff as an internet marketer early on, and I had some great mentors. So I kind of got to see, like I said, what worked, what didn't, did some Craigslist stuff. I mean, the list just goes long. I mean, you guys could go down the list of stuff for entrepreneurial stuff and really understanding. I think the most important thing as entrepreneurs, what we really need to understand is numbers and why businesses fail. And when you start to jump in this entrepreneurship world, and you want to dive deep into some of the numbers, like why do 60% of all the businesses fail their first year? That's an interesting question, and you start diving deeper into some of the stuff in the finance world. Well, 80% of that 60% number is because of, undercapitalization. Businesses don't have capital and they cannot survive. Now, the other part to that equation is marketing, and if you don't have marketing, if you guys aren't doing what you're doing, right, and reaching out to people, getting good content out here and reaching out to people, your business definitely isn't growing. So there was a lot of things early on for me, but I just wanted to mention those kind of things right there. I did a lot of, funnels online, a lot of running of Facebook ads. The marketing stuff went really, really long, but the key for myself was giving really, really good value out to people for free. And it was extremely difficult to do that because I had to pay a lot of money to get this kind of information. A good Elon Musk quote, you get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of problems you solve. I'm a big believer, if you find a big problem, you will be rewarded, hugely. So just kind of wanted to touch on some of those numbers for you guys. I don't know, who you guys have listening in your show, but, any kind of value or content that I can give out, love to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Collin, we definitely appreciate that. And as far as your company with CFS, who do you guys? I see personal and business banking, so this might be answering my question. But who do you guys target as far as business? More of who is your kind of meat and potatoes of clientele? Do you guys have a target market that you try and focus on more?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we love to work with everybody at the end of the day. We work with a lot of small businesses, startups, commercial as well. And whether, you kind of look at somebody's business. So everybody's business is at different points right now. So I think the three things that I look at, when I'm helping somebody in the back of my mind, if somebody's out there, they can really dive into this is obviously, everybody has their personal credit. Okay. Now we're also going to look into like your business, the business side, your business credit. But also, on the credit side, we want to really dive deeper into some of these things. So it goes all across the board to who we work with. But if somebody has built Dun and Bradstreet's, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Paydex score on your business side of credit. So there's different sides to things with your personal credit and your business credit as an entrepreneur. But early on with somebody, that's building out their own business, I highly suggest branching out and building business credit early on, because you're going to need capital. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Sure. And Collin, what would you say some of the quickest ways to kind of get business credit going? Because it's almost like you have a blank slate, but at the same time, no one's willing to offer you any type of credit. What are some quick ways that a startup can kind of establish some initial credit?
Yeah, I mean, there's different, there's different trade lines that you can put on, if it's personal or business, and I'll kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of what those are. So the two different kind of trade lines that you can put on, I'm sure people are familiar with, are authorized users, which are just, kind of you as secondary on the account. You're not the primary. And then the other trade line is a primary. So we, can put a handful of primaries on somebody's account, on their actual business account to start. And, as you get more history and as you, pay on those trade lines, you're going to age. And we can do a program where we can guarantee somebody $50,000 in 3 months, 90 days of unsecured credit lines. And I'll dive a little deeper into that. What does unsecured credit lines mean? It means it's not attached to your personal credit or anything. They're only attached to your business. So that's highly what I suggest to people when they're early on in their business, is to really just put on some business trade lines through Dun and Bradstreet. So if you do not have a Dun & Bradstreet's number, you can go to dunandbradstreets.com and you can actually register your business for free and get a Dun's number, and we can start putting trade lines on your actual business, and in 90 days you can get $50,000 of unsecured credit line for your business. And every business is at different points, so like, you'll have businesses that are like, I don't really, that doesn't really do much for me. I'm already doing $100,000 a month, right? So they can borrow based off the revenue that they're doing every single month. And that's called revenue-based lending, okay? So that, I'm hitting on different businesses. So that's another way based off the financials somebody's already doing. But if they're brand new to this and they need to get their foot in the door, you want to make sure you're building up that business credit early on. But if they're already producing that kind of revenue, they can borrow to get, even more capital based on their revenue. And then, like I said before, you can also leverage your credit score on the personal and business as well to get even more capital. So there's a couple different factors there depending on where the individual's at.
Even, let's say, like you said, a company is doing $100,000 in revenue over the course of the past, how many months would they need to establish that type of a trend? Would it be over the course of like a 6-month trend, or are you guys kind of looking for a 12-month trend?
Yeah, I mean, depending on who you go through as in lenders-wise, I mean, we work directly with about 24 different lenders and with underwriters and attorney as well, so it really depends on who you go to. Some only are going to request, hey, show me 3 months. Some are going to say that they want to see a year. So it really varies based on the individual that you go through. But to be safe, I would say anywhere from 3 to 6 months on average.
Collin, as far as your company, how many offices do you guys have?
Well, we just expanded right now. We got about 8 offices right now in one building. So we just signed into more offices and flew some guys in the town here. So we're rapidly expanding because we understand how important it is to make sure that this information gets out and people use it properly.
Sure, absolutely. And right now, your 8 offices, are you guys just exclusively in San Diego?
You know, right now, I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm actually in Minnesota. We're located in Minnesota.
I'm checking out your website right now. I'm just checking out the website. It actually says it looks like your corporate office is off of in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. So that makes sense. Is that your corporate office out there, Collin?
That is correct. Yeah, Brooklyn Center. Yes, sir. Yeah, so it's a little colder than it is in San Diego, but we'll take it. You know, we like it out here.
Sure. Yeah, I can imagine. Just a degree or two. Now, and I'm sorry, maybe you did or didn't say. Do you guys have offices out here in Southern California?
You know, we have some brokers out in San Diego area that we work with that are a part of our agency. But we don't actually have any offices, so we'll definitely be looking to expand and open some out there, because I'd like to get out there and work a little bit more out there in the wintertime.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Collin, just backing up now. Did you go to school for? I mean, did you major in finance? Did you major in business with like a finance concentration at all, or education-wise? What kind of educational background do you come from?
So I went to school for exercise science, so I was always into health, you know, working out, but I did not have a finance background at all. You know, my parents, I came from a very blue-collar background. Parents were painters, worked extremely hard, wake up early, and they ran a painting business, you know, some employees, some subcontractors, so I never really had a finance background, but once you really started I had some, you know, good friends and mentors that shedded some light into this area of finance and really understanding it. So I didn't really come from that area, but I was always intrigued on understanding how it worked, how the banking system worked, and how you can really leverage yourself as an entrepreneur. Because it's not always about working hard. Like, you know, you always see these things out here, man. You got to work, you know, 24, 18, 19 hours a day, and you can't sleep, and you hear all these things as an entrepreneur, and there's nothing wrong with grinding extremely hard, but if you want to get to the roots of really understanding how you can leverage capital and invest properly and become an investor out here, you have to begin to understand credit. How do I build business credit? How do I build my personal credit? How do I get huge corporate loans like you see a lot of people out here doing, you know, so that I just kind of got obsessed with it, to be honest with you, and had some good relationships. I ran into a gentleman named Melvin, and he really showed me a lot. You know, this was not my area. Obviously, it always starts as not your area until it becomes your area, right? And he shedded a lot of light, you know, based off 20 years of doing this. And I was able to really learn it in a short period of time here, and implement it and grow the business and really help people get a lot of funding on the credit side.
Yeah, it's funny you say you took the words right out of my mouth, Collin. It sounds like he did shed a lot of light to you, because I was just about to say you sound very well informed and very well educated on the subject, and it sounds like you've been doing this for 20 years.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, if you guys are just joining us, this is Collin Schmidt from Credit Funding Solutions Agency. Collin, thanks so much for sharing. Jordan, do you have anything to add at all for Collin?
Yeah, Collin, I just want to, say thanks again for connecting in with us. And, we actually, myself and Collin, connected just earlier today, and it's amazing how, like you said, dedicated you are. I mean, it's right now, I think you're a couple hours ahead. I think, what time is it for you, 11:30 right now?
Yep. It's about 11:30. So we're always up grinding late. I'm actually working with some of my guys right now. They're actually just kind of listening in. They're grinding away, working right now as we speak. But I appreciate you guys reaching out and connecting with you guys. I'm sure we'll be talking more. But hopefully you guys found some value. The information here, CFS agency, we're definitely looking to expand. But more importantly, at the end of the day, it's about helping entrepreneurs out, reaching out to individuals in the entrepreneurial world as you guys do day in and day out, and making sure that they succeed at the highest level. I hate these, we always get these percentages, 60% of all businesses fail their first year. Individuals, they don't need to be one of the statistics. So, whatever we can do to help at the end of the day and shed some light in that area, whether it's through this show here and other ways as well, be more than happy to. So I appreciate everything on your guys' end.
Yeah, Collin, thanks so much. We'll definitely on our Facebook page, we'll definitely shout out your company, and we'll put a little blurb about you guys just to create more awareness for you guys. Collin, again, thanks so much for joining. Jordan, thanks for grabbing him kind of late notice for our entrepreneurial spotlight segment. Other than that, thanks so much, Collin, and we wish you well.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
All right, thanks, Collin.
Folks, again, that was Collin Schmidt with CFS Agency Credit Funding Solutions. He specializes in credit repair as well as both personal and business funding. Jordan, great guy. Sounds very, very well knowledgeable, and literally took the words out of my mouth while he was explaining that he had a gentleman, Melvin, I think his name was, who kind of took him under his wing and kind of showed him the ropes, the nuts and bolts, and the chutes and ladders of the credit business. And 27 years old, very well spoken, and sounds like he's been doing this for, like I said, 20 years. So he was great.
It's crazy how it's crazy how much, if you kind of immerse yourself in a subject, it's crazy how quickly the human mind is able to adapt and pick things up. I mean, just like you said, Aaron, the guy sounded like he's been doing this forever on end, and he's just right around our age. So yeah, it's an awesome thing.
It was a wonderful entrepreneurial spotlight. Folks, we're going to try going forward, actually, to mix it up a little bit. Not so much mix it up, but duplicate it up a bit. We're going to try, Jordan and I, going forward, to actually have two guests on our show now. Being that, we kind of have a multi-face platform with this show. We talk about business, we talk about entrepreneurial shit, but we're also big on music, as you guys know. I mean, we actually started this radio show in hopes to build our Chelladurai Inc. record label, our Chelladurai brand. So with that, we do want to start to bring in musicians, artists, producers, A&R guys, anyone affiliated in the music business. So again, that's another job that me and Jordan are going to do to try and bring another component into the show. So we're going to try in a perfect world to have an entrepreneurial spotlight as well as a kind of a musical spotlight as well, because that's what we're into. We're into music and business, and we want to get the best of both worlds and the best of both Jordan and Hack and other people in our related interests to kind of talk to our audience. Jordan, anything else we want to add at all right now? Kind of just spitballing here.
That segment is one that we're excited to, continue pressing on with. And any artists, you have our contact information. Any of the artists listening in who kind of felt like, oh, maybe I'm not an entrepreneur, so, you kind of didn't reach out to us regarding the spotlight, please feel free to contact us on the musical side. As, Aaron said, we're going to be expanding and possibly, I don't want to speak too soon, but possibly we'll be having some live guests joining us. We're working on getting kind of a conference room so that we can stream the show live from the conference room location, possibly, get a visual recording of it as well. So, we're just trying to stick to it. And like Collin said, also bring more value to you, to the listener. So, we'll just keep at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, as far as getting in touch with us, my real name, Aaron Trilling, of course, and Jordan has our Chelladurai Beats Instagram names. Chelladurai Beats is the production side of Chelladurai Inc. feel free to direct message us anytime, folks. Again, Aaron Trilling, AARONTRILLING, or, of course, Chelladurai Beats directly. And, again, just direct message us if you guys want to come on, whether you guys want to talk about an entrepreneurial spotlight or be an entrepreneur or, a musician. We like either right now. We're kind of trying to do a kind of double whammy here on our show, being that now we have about 45 minutes. Other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Jordan, what else we got? We're just vibing here. We're just vibing. I wish I had a piano right now.
Yeah, and also, now since we're on the topic of music, just a small heads up, there will be a David Capewood solo project coming out 2016. The ship has set sail. I know we're still riding this progressive regressions wave, but, David Capewood will be coming in full effect. Aaron Trilling, a.k.a. David Capewood, will be coming in full effect with the solo project. So, be excited for it, because
I'm very stoked. I'm glad to be, kind of like Jordan said, riding this progressive regressions wave, bringing awareness to the world with our wonderful mixtape and movement. I'm ready to start making it.
Let them know about that too, because I really need to commend Aaron for his efforts on the progressive regressions marketing and awareness. At this point, quite a few record stores across San Diego County are selling progressive regressions in stores. Aaron's done an awesome job with that. Got the T-shirts in the stores as well, being sold. I think, what is the new one? We have it in a convenience store also, right, Aaron, in Poway?
We do, actually. I was walking in. I think I just grabbed a beer, and the guy was kind of cool. I was just kind of chatting him up, and I had actually been in professional attire. That may have helped. Normally when I go out, I'm normally in street clothes, and Jordan is the one in the corporate attire. But I was by myself, and I was dressed up, and, guy seemed very cool. I chatted him up, and I said, hey, I'm a local musician, and I'd love to leave a few of my CDs, on the shelf anywhere, somewhere that's not taking up too much space. And the guy was more than happy, more than accommodating to do that for me. Shout out to Mark out in the liquor store off of Pomerado Road in Poway. Go get that stuff, guys. Go get them. I left about 10 of them over there. So does have a little advertisement right there. If we had more people like Mark, man, that'd be great. So it was wonderful. It is I'm just trying to, like Jordan said, just get them out there, push them. Any real establishment. I don't care if you're a dentist office, a strip club, a tune-up shop, a Panera Bread. If you guys want them, we'll take them. Anything that can, really get foot traffic, that gets foot traffic in there. Because, like I said, we're on the internet. You can check out our YouTube channel. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and the like. But really in the ground phase of things, you really got to do the face-to-face connect, and you got to get out there yourself. You got to be your own Marine. You got to be the Navy SEAL. You got to push that wheelbarrow, and that's kind of what Jordan and I are both doing right now, and it's fun. I mean, it's hard work, but I love it. I love meeting new people. I love networking, because now I can, we've talked to many people that we can just bounce off. Not only are we doing music, but we have a radio show, and just getting more and more awareness. It's fivefold, no matter how you look at it. So Jordan and I are really enjoying it. But other than that, Jordan, anything you want to add before we sign off the air this evening? Anything of importance, whether it's music-related, business-related, or anything off the top of your head at all? You're for it.
Yeah, same thing. I just want to leave the listeners with the last few words of encouragement, and not to be in kind of a rah kind of just whooping it up type of way, but I mean really on that marathon mindset. The state of mind, really stay on your marathon. It's going to be tough. and be ready for it. If you start your day out in a difficult manner, everything else becomes easy after that. Real quick, I won't spend too much time talking about this, but if anybody's heard of intermittent fasting, I've been doing it this whole week in an effort to try to cut some of the belly off. But of course, I don't have a six-pack, far from it, but I can attest to the intermittent fasting that my energy levels are way up. So basically, the basic protocol is you fast 16 hours out of the day and eat within an 8-hour window. If anybody's looking for, some type of energy pick-me-up and you can stand going 16 hours without eating, try it. You may not think you can do it, but you'd be surprised at what the human body can do. And, just do things to stretch yourself out, get uncomfortable. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't sit in the same neighborhood, in the same block. Get out, meet new people, network, and just keep grinding.
Absolutely. And on that topic, Jordan, of intermittent fasting, there's a guy that the both of us are very inspired by. He does YouTube videos all the time. He's all over social media. His name is Brandon Carter. He actually does a couple-minute clip, one of his hundreds of clips that he has on YouTube, one of which is intermittent fasting, and definitely endorses it and has done it multiple times. And he actually has a before and after of an X amount of time that he was doing intermittent fasting. I think it was 2 months. The guy is already very muscular as it is, but you could see a before and after shot. And then, the 60 to 90 days after the intermittent fasting, he is just ripped of muscle. And, it has proven to work with many people, and it takes unbelievable discipline. Like Jordan said, you have an 8-hour window to eat, and then for 16 hours you don't eat. So it's very important. It's very punctual. It's a scheduled diet, and it really, teaches the mind a lot of discipline and the body. But other than that, same time next week, Thursday at 9, we're going to try and have 2 guests on for next week. Do join us. It'll be our first double whammy, double guest spotlight for the Chelladurai Inc. show. You guys, I want all of us to have some goals, some targets, some missions that we want to either accomplish by tomorrow, by the end of the week, by the end of the month, by the end of the year. Like Jordan said, don't get out of your comfort zone. Reach for the stars. I hate to be cliche, but it's not fun being comfortable. Don't get too comfortable, and ultimately, we are on borrowed time here on this planet, and it's important that we all make the most of it. With that, I'm Aaron Trilling, my co-host Jordan Phillip. We are signing off. Same time next week, same day, folks. We'll see you then. Take care.